Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We're going to finish off this week, as we usually do, with a sound from my inbox. Bands reach out to me and ask me to check out their music, and, well, let's see what they're up to. Today's request comes at us, says, "Hey there, this is Jacob. I play bass with the band Flash Forward. We're located in Germany. After playing some shows with Enter Shikari, You Me at 6, Def Havana, and Palais Royale, and slots on some big festivals in Germany, we have the next big dream. A reaction video for our brand new single, Can You Hear Me Calling? We put so much energy in this video, and it would be an absolute honor to see you react. All the best, Jacob." Alright, so let's get into this. This is Can You Hear Me Calling from Flash Forward.
Hi, my name is Rania. I am from Syria, and a year ago, I fled my country to Europe after receiving death threats. Now, I am in Austria, in the middle of nowhere.
The sky and solely water, and the sun is warm in my skin. Oh, how I wish, my daughter, we'd find a place where we could start again. Close, too close, we're watching the storm come up on the horizon that we cannot escape.
Nice rhythmic aspect there.
Of the sea.
Switching it up, providing some contrast.
Black, just black, and his feet below me, waiting for the waves they are trying to throw me overboard and into relief. And I take my breath to call her while we shipwrecked on the sea. We are so far away from glory. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me calling? Calling. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me calling? Calling. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? We're tormented by hunger. Lead off the fight that
Alright.
no one can win.
So we got the guitars here for some very minor atmospheric work, and then the chords they come in and provide some of the chord progression stuff.
Close, too close, we're watching the storm come up on the horizon that we cannot escape from. We're prisoners of the sea. Black, just black, and his feet below me, waiting for the waves they are trying to throw me overboard and into relief. And I take my breath to call her while we shipwreck.
Widen up the guitars on this pre-chorus. I don't think I picked that up last
So
time.
far away from glory. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me calling?
Yeah, really nice build up into this with that drum fill. Just using the hi-hat and then putting some tom and snare in there to build into this.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? As long as we are still breathing, we won't run out of belief. As long as we are
It's
still
interesting, the guitar that's not playing the chords almost has like an electronic idea going on.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me calling? Calling. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me calling? Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me calling?
Feels like we're about ready to wrap the song up, and I was kind of hoping that we would have a bridge.
Becoming a refugee has taught me so many things. It taught me that there's so much we take for granted. Our health, our families, our safety, our mental health. And being isolated in the first year in Austria, not being able to communicate with the locals And while seeing a world that was filled with chaos and misery, it made it hard for me to believe that there's gonna be a better tomorrow. But there is, and there should be, because it only takes you and I to leave this world better than we found it.
All right. Still another 2 minutes in the video, but oh, okay. So some behind the scenes stuff. Alright, so the song's over. If you're interested in it, of course, links in the description. You can check out some of that additional information they're putting there at the end. So yeah, a bit of a different, different, what should we call this? A different pace than what we typically have, especially this week. And last week, we've done, we did Dissonance this week. What was last week? I don't remember. I remember we've had some pretty, oh, last week was Multimedia Week. So actually we did see some lighter stuff. But this is definitely a huge step in a different direction from this week's Dissonance theme that we've been exploring. And I would say a welcome ending to the week. After listening to all this dissonance throughout, you know, we get to end on something a little more bouncier and poppier and consonant. So I'm pretty grateful for that. Good way to finish off this week. So let's get into this. We have a pretty, well, I was going to say a pretty standard, like, pop rock track. However, the song structure is missing a bridge. So we have A, B, A, B, and the second B is extended in a way with a couple variations on it that lead us into the outro. It's a rather sparse song as far as music goes. We have the opening and the outro, which kind of have an ambient tone to them. The verses are just a single guitar, a very sparse single guitar melody line with catchy vocals and a simple drum part. I suppose there is a pre-chorus that I didn't really work into my song structure, but it's there. And that is the same guitar part with the vocals and then a single hi-hat on the downbeat. And then we go into the chorus. We have a nice fill that introduces some of the more rhythmic complexity we're going to see in the chorus. The chorus is bigger, it's wider. We have two guitars at this point. We have a melody line and a chorus, a chord part. And the drums have opened up. The vocals have opened up and widened a little bit. I think there's even a slight volume increase. And that's pretty much the whole song. It's simple but catchy and poppy, which is an interesting choice. I want to dig into some of the reasons I think why these choices are made rather than digging into the music itself, because I feel like, as with a lot of more mainstream sounding music, it's not so much about theoretical choices about why the music is selected or why notes are selected. It's more about how it sounds, right? They're achieving a specific sound. They're achieving specific goals with the sound. For instance, highlighting the vocals and giving them the most prominent melodic aspect. The melody guitar is rather simple, lower in volume. It gets overshadowed, I think, a little bit in the chorus. But there's a reason why there's really only one melody line that's really showcased in the mix, and it's the vocal one. And it's because songs like this, pop rock tracks in general, tend to have a hook to them that they want to resonate with the listener. And as I've mentioned in the past, a lot of people find it easier to latch on to vocals, especially once you start looking at mainstream music. the audiences for mainstream music, the casual music listener, I suppose you could say. Most of them are going to resonate more with vocals than they do with music. Part of that is because we teach we teach in schools vocal understanding, how to understand your speech, because we need it as a basis for communication, but we don't teach everybody musical understanding and being able to understand what music is supposed to be portraying. Now, there is an innate part to that. If we listen to some sad music, even if it doesn't have lyrics, we will feel sad, but I don't think many people are actually going to resonate and connect with an instrumental track, which showcases that instrumental music is kind of seen as a niche these days. You look at any, top song list of a current generation or a current era, you're really not going to find too much instrumental work on there. So they highlight the vocal track for that, especially since this song is portraying, the song is talking about a very specific subject, something that's close to the band, I would assume. It's a song about the refugee crisis, and people escaping and fleeing from their homelands and finding themselves in strange places, countries that speak a language they don't know, them trying to learn the language while also trying to survive, get a job so they can have money and all of this. So the topic is important to the band. They want the topic to be the forefront, the purpose of the song, so they make the lyrics revolve around that, and they push the vocals into the forefront. Even doubly so, they bring the music down. They ensure there's not too much complexity in there, so there isn't anything that would draw the listener's ears away from the message in the vocals. With that said, excellently done. The purpose of the song, the intent of the song was to spread this message. The message is put into what most people are going to listen to, what most people are going to, really tune into, especially on a first listen, which is going to be the vocals. They're mixed in a way that push the vocals out as the primary instrument to be listened to by your casual listener. And, intentions are set, and the music is crafted in a way that supports this. It's done with, it's executed very well in that regard. Personally, I do feel like there are a couple of things that don't work too well, but I'm also not the target audience of this, so flash forward if you're listening, take this with a grain of salt. What you did here, I think, was done very well. It was done at a very high level. The production is great. I think the message is well crafted into the lyrics. So, what I'm going to say would detract possibly from what your goals were. So I want to make a separation here, as I sometimes do, in that music can be created for a wide variety of reasons. This one was created as sort of a platform to tell a message, so the music was secondary to the message. However, another way of creating music is as an art form. And in that regard, I tend to enjoy thematic cohesion. That's the word I want, not coherency. Cohesion. The song is about this tragic event and spreading the word of this modern tragedy and trying to, ensure that people know about it so that we can possibly change the way the world is working. The song is very dancey, and we've talked about this in the past about these less than happy lyrical ideas being accompanied with poppy dancey music, and that there's reasons why this can be created. I remember mentioning that somebody had told me in their culture they view it as dancing through the pain. They have dancey music with sad songs, and the culture, dance is very important to it or something like that. I wish I need to go back. This is the second or third time I've brought this up, and I have not accredited the proper person with this. So yeah, there's that reason. We can also make it more dancey and poppy as a way to bring attention to it. Um, but I think that if you're gonna go with something like this, I would prefer a little bit more thematic cohesion and creating a song that portrays the weight of the incident if we ignore it. Um, Also, there seems to be a bit of desperation in the vocals. They seem to, I mean, they're told from the first person perspective. I assume they would be through the eyes of the refugee themselves. Can you hear me calling? I need help. I'm screaming for help. I need other people to aid me through this part, this part of my life, and aid the rest of us who are in a similar situation. Can you hear me calling? There's desperation in that line, but there's not desperation in the vocals. There's not desperation in the music. So there's a thematic inconsistency there that, like I mentioned earlier, works well based on the perceived intentions I have, that the purpose of this is to bring attention to it, not to create a work of art around it. Um, so that's more of a personal preference, but I think viewing the music as sort of an artwork rather than a platform would have a transition in that idea, and creating a different atmosphere with the music than what was portrayed here. The same thing kind of goes back to the idea of the bridge being missing. Even in very modern, traditional mainstream music, we tend to have a bridge section. We have the A, B, A, B, C, B. We have that final new section before we return to the final chorus. And even this song doesn't have that third chorus. It stops at the second one. Um, and, I'm like, usually I'm thinking, okay, there's not enough in this song that's really grabbing me. We have the verse and the chorus. The chorus is very catchy. Can you hear me calling? I'm probably going to have that stuck in my head for a few days, which, again, is the purpose of the song. But, normally I would think that we would need another section here, something to diversify the song a little bit, because even the verse and the chorus tend to have, or don't tend to have, do have very similar sonic identities, sonic fingerprints to them. The real difference between them is width and power. The chorus has the extra guitar in it and a widening of a couple of I think the vocals get widened a little bit, and the drums, I don't know if it's just because we have more drums, maybe there's something in the production that makes them a little bigger. But the chorus is a bigger sound, but it utilizes a lot of the same foundations we see inside of the verse. So there's not a lot of differences there. And my gut tells me we need to have a section that at least provides a little bit of contrast to what we've already seen so far. But again, that kind of disrupts the purpose of the song. The song is to get to the point. And the point is definitely the chorus. Injecting more in here might not necessarily add much in the way of getting that point across. So again, the short run time, the repetition, maybe that is actually in the favor of transmitting this message. But the same thing with the atmosphere. My personal bias is my personal taste in music. I would prefer to have some contrast in here. It doesn't necessarily need to be a bridge. We don't need to follow standard song structure to achieve that. We can create a little bit more diversity between the verse and the chorus. Or we could even go more of a rhapsody route, and instead of doing the verse chorus idea, we can do verse chorus, some C section, and then even do the chorus again. Just have the two verses have some differences in there. But once again, I do want to say this with a grain of salt. All of this does change the song itself, as every suggestion that I've always brought up when I'm talking about any song. It changes the song. It changes the perceived ideas in the song. It changes, what the song is accomplishing, and it might not necessarily work well with the intentions of the band. So, like I said at the beginning, take everything I've said with a grain of salt. Those are my thoughts, though, on Flash Forward's Can You Hear Me Calling? I think it's a pretty good pop rock song. It has very good production to it. And I think it has strong cohesion between intent and execution. But I do wish that on the musical side, it had a little bit more meat to the music itself, though I do understand that that might not necessarily have worked with what the band wanted out of the song. All right, this is where you guys come in, though. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed this or not, anything that stuck out to you. As I mentioned earlier, there is a link in the description to this music video, and if you're interested in the last 2 minutes of this, which are not the song but seems to be additional info or maybe behind the scenes stuff, go ahead and check that out for sure. I always supply the original video because I think it's important to watch that. My channel is not necessarily what I think most people should be listening to music on a first time. I think it's always important to listen to music uninterrupted without any additional words. Your first listen to something should not be me talking over it, that's for sure. But yeah, I just think it's important to put the original videos down there all the time. Comments, description box, link tree. If you're a band and you want me to check out your music, give some criticism and tell you where I think things went right and where I think maybe there could be a little bit of work done, hit me up. That Linktree link has an email in it, and you can email me there, and I will get you on the channel, just like this. Also, there's links in there for Patreon, Discord, Twitter, all sorts of stuff. If you're a fan or a follower, you want to join the community or support the channel or whatever, those links are in there above the description box. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. That's it for this week. The weekend we'll have no videos as usual. I'll be back Monday, though. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m., 9 p.m. UTC. Look, Daylight Saving Time is coming back. All right? Eventually, that 5 and 10 is going to be what I have to say, and I think mentally I'm just preparing for it. I don't know why. I've been saying 10 a lot lately. 5 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UTC. We'll be doing Math Rock Week, and I think we have a surprise on Monday. I don't think it's going to be a special selection for our second video. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. Get excited. Get hyped. Yep. Until next time, remember, be critical, not cynical, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.